Hey folks, welcome. Welcome, my friend. Welcome. Okay, so I forgot how to play that. Forgot how to play that, so we are trying to remember the old days. I even found the anonymous mask again because I lost that. Found out where it was hiding, so we got that. Uh, Grand. Okay, so hold on a second while we configure our devices here. Being forced to do a update of my iOS. Music to your ears. Okay, so we have a. Yes, I know, Drac. I saw you. I can't respond when I'm setting up, but I saw you early. Hello, Great Gold. Hold on, guys. Let me just configure this. First Queen Inda. First Queen, hello. I'm just looking at my subscriber base here on YouTube, and I'm almost at 1900. So I will reach 2000 subscribers within uh, probably within 10 days. So I'm guessing. Yeah, around 10 or 11 days from now, we'll be at 2,000. And then I expect we'll be over 3,000 subscribers by, this is on YouTube, by before the end of the year, at least, maybe even higher. That would be the low end of it. Hello, Michevsky Goran. Okay, so hold on. Let me just try to bring all of your comments up here on YouTube. And hello, Claire, Peters, Drac, Entiremire, Storm, Twist, Mint, Ben. Hello, Ben. Good morning, Ben. And then who did I miss? Kim. Hello, Kim. So hopefully I got most of you. Hello, Pilot Mike. So who did I miss on Periscope? Enlighten Up. Salsero Latino Doc. Hello. Are you new, Salsero Latino Doc, or just change of name? First Queen Inda. Great Gold, of course. Taco Tub. Safety Director. Dem Warrior Prince. So if you say hello, I'll give you a little shout out. Say hello, and I will say hello back. Glad to know you all. So I like to interact with my friends here in a more personal way, and you can actually talk to me fairly easily on Brax.me. I don't really talk on any other social media, and I get a lot of emails as well, which are sent to the tech support emails on the app, and I don't really respond to those. If you want to talk to me, it's very easy. You go to rob.brax.me, and and I will I believe I respond to anyone who talks to me. Hello, Tammy. Hello, Tammy. So hello, Eagle Source, Detroit OG. Thank you, Pilot Mike. I didn't know you liked jazz. I thought you were just here for the piloting and the radio stuff. E.T. Buck. Hello, my friends. Hello, Warren Terry. Hello. So whoever I'm missing, just say hi, and I'd like to see who's actually watching. How could I possibly have a bad signal? I'm wired. That was very, very strange. Very strange. I'm wired, and and of course, my ISP drops the signal. I'm not even on Wi-Fi. I had to go back to Wi-Fi. I think somebody may have stepped on one of the cables. I'm hardwired to a Wi-Fi router, but that Wi-Fi router may have been disconnected here, maybe by somebody stepping on it. So that's a possibility. Hopefully, this will be okay for the rest of the night. Yeah, I need to protect the wiring there because it's kind of exposed. So hopefully we didn't drop long enough for it to make any difference. So hopefully we're still all here. I can see all the signals are still good. Is YouTube okay? Can we just verify? Can everyone say hi on YouTube? And just want to make sure that we did not, I've been trying to set this up all weekend to make sure that we don't have any drop-offs, and then, at least it'll be rare. It could still drop from the ISP. The ISP is always causing me problems here. So, okay, it's good. Okay, hello, Nixon Gaspy. Hello. How are you guys doing on YouTube? So, topic today is about corporate stuff. And just to give you a little bit of a review. Yesterday, I talked about disinformation, how it helps us to give disinformation to the AI. So if we give disinformation to the AI, then the AI gets confused, the algorithm gets confused, and it doesn't know how to treat us. which means they can't manipulate us and flash things on our screen that we don't want to see, or that they're trying to feed us, and we can actually stop a lot of that by feeding them this information. So we want to be the source of this information, not the other way around, because 99.99999% of the time, it's the corporate world that's feeding us this information, and it's feeding it to us 24/7. Every time you pick up this ducking phone, they're feeding you this information. They're feeding you things that will force you to give them money, things you don't need, force you to live a lifestyle that you are guided to live, forces you to look at objects and say, I want that, because you get to spend money and they get to make money. I don't know who Nick Gurr is. Tell the AI to hate itself. Go get an Alexa Echo, and how about putting two Alexa Echoes to each other and see if they can talk to each other? Is that possible? So hopefully, hopefully signal is good now. Okay, great. So so anyway, yeah, actually, no, let's make it more interesting. Get one of those Google Assistant ones, Cortana, Siri, and Alexa Echo in one room, and see if they can talk to each other. Start the conversation, and let's see who responds. We'll see if they start a circle. Let's see if we can confuse the AI that way, because the AI is like crazy. Anyway, part of what I'm talking about today relates to my video. I don't know if hello Sharp Eagle. I don't know if you've seen my new video from a few days ago. A video was about the Catch the Man in the Middle app. I made an app about Catch the Man in the Middle, and I was trying to explain what that app is. And nowadays, I find that if I make a video now, a lot of people are seeing it. My old videos, nobody watches. And the reason is because the algorithm is now like friendly to me at the moment. The algorithm likes me on YouTube, and I'm getting an increase in my subscriber base. Like I said, I will be at 2,000 subscribers in as little as 10 days. It's already happening. The AI is responding to me because I'm feeding the AI what it wants. The AI says, I want this, and I said, I'm going to give you that. So I'm giving the AI that, and it's responding back by saying, okay, we're going to suggest you. We're going to go laggy. Go to YouTube then, where it's not laggy. We're going to suggest you to viewers. Hello, Killer Metal. We remember you talking about when you make great videos. Good work. Thank you. Thank you, Killer Metal. So a lot of the videos that I made in the past have not made much presence because the algorithm at the time didn't know who I was. For those of you who are wondering why I only have 1,900 subscribers, it's because I only started in 2019. So everything you're seeing here, I only became active on YouTube on December 2019. Before that was like, leave YouTube alone kind of thing. I was mostly on Periscope. And on Periscope, I have 30,000 followers, and which keeps going down, a handful a week. So maybe by 10 years from now, I'll be down to zero, because it's going backward. It's going back. Thank you, Claire. So it's going backwards on Periscope, but it's going upwards on YouTube. And most of the new 99.9999% of all the new subs are from YouTube, not from Periscope. So I appreciate it. So I did a video last week, or a few days ago, this week, depending on if you look at Sunday as the end of the week or the beginning of the week. Yes, Pilot Mike. So I did a video on Catch a Man in the Middle. Now, Catch a Man in the Middle is a very interesting video if you actually understand what I'm saying there. the man in the middle problem, where let me just summarize it for those who have not seen the video. And you should watch the video so you understand what I'm talking about. The man in the middle video, the way that occurs is almost purely government and corporate. You're not really going to have the kind of man in the middle interception like I'm talking about at your house. It's not going to happen at your house. So you don't have to worry so much about man in the middle at your house. You're going to worry about it anywhere that is not your Wi-Fi, particularly corporate Wi-Fi, and that includes Starbucks. In case you're wondering what the network is at Starbucks, the network at Starbucks is Google. You're actually on the Google network when you're at Starbucks. So when you're at you're visiting some office and you're on their Wi-Fi, then you are on a corporate Wi-Fi. When you're on a corporate Wi-Fi, the number one thing you got to think about is the man in the middle. Now, what is the concept of the man in the middle? The man in the middle means that it doesn't matter that you use HTTPS. It doesn't matter that you think you're secure. If you do any kind of banking in the office, you go to Facebook and you're gonna send what you think is a private message to someone on Facebook. Someone in that office, yes, hotels as well. Someone in that office, someone in that corporation, somebody in that hotel corporation as well, in your Las Vegas hotel. It doesn't matter what. Somebody at Google watching Starbucks traffic, somebody can do a man in the middle. Now, this is awfully disgusting because the whole point to HTTPS was to create security for online transactions, for example, to do banking and so on. And it's really disgusting to see that our corporate friends have decided, oh, we're only going to allow you a certain amount of privacy. That's at home. But if you're at any corporate environment, no, we're going to keep an eye on you like a hawk. We're going to watch everything you do. We're going to record it and so on. So this is what I've been trying to tell you. We've been fed lies and so many lies about everything. And one of them is HTTPS. That's probably one of the biggest corporate lies that there is. HTTPS for our security, when actually HTTPS is based on trusting a corporation. That's all it's based on. HTTPS trust is trusting a corporation, in this case, somebody who invested a lot of capital to put up a certificate authority. And the only reason that we trust them is they say, yes, trust me because I signed up to be a certificate authority. There's really no reason to trust them. So let me try to kind of weave this into a story about one particular company for now, and then we'll talk about other companies later. But let me just talk about this particular company for now. And for a change, I'm actually going to use the name of the company because I don't. For years, I don't mention the name of the company, but this company has weakened considerably. Still up there, still strong, but it's weakened. And what they were able to do in the past, they won't be able to do because of some changes in their corporate structure. And the company that I'm going to talk to you about today is Symantec. Again, a company that I've not used their name for ages. So to me, Symantec is the epitome of evil in tech. I don't know who's more evil, Symantec or Facebook. Because Facebook is pretty evil. And if I re-listened to the hearings with Zuck in Congress, in the Senate. And I mean, he's really evil. I mean, the lies he said on there, like the constant lies, just show me that his mindset is pure evil. So, however, it's nothing compared to Symantec, because Symantec is much more overt in what it was trying to do, unsuccessfully, fortunately. It tried to really do an end run on us. Sorry for the football analogy because I don't really do football. But anyway, it's very interesting what's happened to this company. Let me give you a little history. So back in the day, Symantec was actually doing enterprise stuff. Symantec wasn't really. They were doing some other kind of software. They weren't really into cybersecurity pretty much. Took your wife to a romantic dinner. So, so one of the first things that happened to Symantec was, they formed a little company, they went public, and Symantec, be a public company without any kind of success needs to go on a spending spree and start buying up something, and that's how they expand. So that's what Symantec did. And one of the first companies they decided to merge with was the Peter Norton Company. The Peter Norton Company is the company that does Norton antivirus, but way back in the day. Okay, so in the 90s, Norton antivirus. So, uh, and Symantec started buying a lot of companies. Some of them from, even they bought a company of somebody I actually knew, and somebody I was working heavily with. Some MIT student that created this software, and Symantec bought it. So Peter Norton Company merged with Symantec, and Symantec has never been a steady company. I mean, if you look at their history, their CEOs last about 2 years. It's like this. It's almost like a directionless company, almost like a completely directionless company. There's Tony. How's your burner phone today, Tony? So anyway, something happened to Symantec, and they decided they want to control the world. Norton, a big creator of viruses. Don't tell me that. I don't know. I have no proof of that, Savvy. But Peter Norton himself had a good reputation, and then Peter Norton stepped out, and the company became Symantec. I'm sure Peter Norton is very happy with his money somewhere, and he doesn't need to care. I think he made many millions, and he doesn't have to worry about any of this. I don't know what Peter Norton is doing nowadays. So having fun somewhere, I presume. So anyway, Symantec said, okay, we're going to expand. And one of the first expansions that was made by Symantec was to buy the SSL, the HTTPS business of VeriSign. So I thought VeriSign actually shut down, but apparently not. VeriSign still handles .com, what do they handle? .com and .net, I think. They still handle the name domain, the domains for .com and .net. I believe they sold .org, got rid of .org. So VeriSign is still in the domain naming business, but they gave up the SSL side. VeriSign was the first company to do certificates on the internet. And they said, trust us, we're the first. And we not only, should you trust us, because we also handle your domain. So VeriSign had this reputation. So anyway, so Norton bought VeriSign. Now, if you look at the structure of the company, they were into antivirus and some corporate cybersecurity things, plus they were into certificates. And if you think about that, it's pretty much all safety focused, and in a way, it was all related. But greed. They want to expand. For Symantec, was a Fortune 500 company. I say was because I don't know if they will remain a Fortune 500 company, but Symantec is at least as of today is a Fortune 500 company. Whether they will remain a Fortune 500 company will probably not. I would imagine that they will not be a Fortune 500 company. Hello, Mega Memes. So anyway, one of the first signs of something evil going on with Symantec was that they they purchased. By the way, I believe they purchased the SSL business from VeriSign for 1.2 billion or a billion and a half. I'm not sure, somewhere around there. So they bought the SSL business from VeriSign for about 1.5 million or so, or slightly less. I can't remember. Then they made an offer to buy Blue Coat Systems. Now, let me just tell you about Blue Coat Systems because this is the start of the evil right here. In case you didn't know about Blue Coat Systems started out, with a different name and was fairly unsuccessful making a profit for many years. And then they started making a profit, and that's when they were purchased by Symantec. Now, what exactly is Blue Coat Systems, or what I recall as the Blue Suit people? So Blue Coat Systems supply surveillance software for corporations and for governments. For example, the Syrian government uses Blue Coat Systems to spy on the network and spy on the internet and spy on every one of its citizens that's not part of the rebels. So if you're on the network on, I guess they can spy on everyone because everyone has to go through the infrastructure. So, so Syria, which, we're having problems with Syria, is being supported by Symantec, which just shows you their morality. I mean, they don't really care. They don't really care about, rights and wrongs. They just care about sucking money. So yes, so Syria, and I can't tell you how many governments in Central and South America and the Middle East are running Blue Coat Systems, and plus corporations running Blue Coat Systems. And the idea of Blue Coat Systems is simple. Spy on your traffic. If you go to visit, some company, let's say Ford Motor Company, and you happen to be there, and you say, okay, I'm going to use their network. Well, someone is tracking what you're doing, including what you do with your bank and everything else, using HTTPS while you're within the Ford network. Now, I don't know if Ford is using Blue Coat Systems, so I'm using this as an example, but that's the kind of size company we're talking about. And Ford can then, in theory, theoretical only, could then listen to everything you're doing using Blue Coat Systems. So Blue Coat Systems is integrated with a lot of the big companies. Wonder if they're in Facebook. I really wonder where they are in. And aside from that, they can be used in corporate and government networks to spy on everyone inside the network. Okay, so whatever trust you have in whatever you're doing, there's somebody watching you, and the company that enables the watching is Blue Coat Systems from Symantec, which is now Symantec. Okay, Symantec then, after this, said a year later, actually, not much more, a year later, Symantec bought another company for a couple of billion, and that company was LifeLock. LifeLock. Now, let's talk about LifeLock a little bit. As you know, LifeLock is one of the biggest scams in the zucking business world. It's the biggest scam. I'm actually worried about, what the implications are of LifeLock. Anytime when Equifax got hacked, when Yahoo got hacked, when a bank gets hacked, Capital One, when LinkedIn got hacked, when all of these companies got hacked, what do they offer you? The first thing that they offer you is, hey, we'll give you free LifeLock. We'll give you free LifeLock. So if you think about it, the flaws of the internet and our privacy is being covered up by an excuse of a company called LifeLock. So LifeLock is out there saying, oh yeah, we are going to protect your identity. We're going to give you, Yeah, no, it's not free. It's being paid for by the companies that supposedly cause trouble. In this case, the Equifaxes and whatever. Whoever destroyed your security by letting your data be released, they're supposedly paying for LifeLock. So LifeLock is a business that's based on a false promise. It allows a company like Equifax to say, "We'll appease you with identity protection, and all you need to do is you get free LifeLock." I get all these things about I have free LifeLock, and it's like, zuck you. What kind of nonsense are you selling me with the zucking LifeLock? Complete nonsense with LifeLock. What does LifeLock actually do? This is one of the biggest corporate scams I can imagine. What does LifeLock actually do for you? By the way, you got to be careful on YouTube saying bad things about LifeLock. They have an army of people that will downvote any video that talks about LifeLock in a negative way. You can find it on the internet. Anyone that talks negatively about LifeLock will get battered. Okay, so they can do this to this live stream. Who fucking cares? Okay, so LifeLock is one of these companies that, this is Symantec here. That is a biggest scammer. Now, one of the biggest scams that you see on LifeLock is that they tell you that look at all the positive reviews. Look at the positive reviews about LifeLock. Well, again, part of the corporate scam, which many of you are so gullible you don't actually know this, that whatever reviews you see on social media are actually paid. There are a bunch of college students being paid to do reviews on the internet to say nice things about LifeLock. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the products you buy are the same, where they're paying college students, to put reviews on social media, positive reviews about any zucking product. I would not be surprised if that happened to a lot of products you buy. So that's why you have to be conscious of the fact that there is zucking manipulation going on in the zucking world, and LifeLock is an epitome of this. I personally know people who have been paid by LifeLock to do these reviews. Okay, so they're soliciting students college students to do the reviews on social media in return for a fee. I mean, just no morality whatsoever. So now here we have a problem. So we have Symantec now. By the way, Symantec is also involved with the government. They provide antivirus for the government and various cybersecurity things for the government. So they're like really deep into the government stuff. And I actually wonder if there's a backdoor in the antivirus itself for the government to come in and invade anybody using Norton antivirus, which is the most popular antivirus that there is. One of the things that is very interesting is if you look at the WikiLeaks on the what's the name of the hack on the WikiLeaks release on CIA documents, the CIA trove that was that showed all the cybersecurity stuff, and there's a section there that talked about antivirus, and it's very strange that so little was said about Norton antivirus. So I wondered if Norton antivirus actually has a backdoor, and this is this kind of immoral company, Vault 7, yes. This immoral company, I wouldn't doubt at all they put a backdoor in there. I wouldn't doubt. Not accusing them of it because I don't have any proof, but they're the kind of company that would just say, okay, we'll put a backdoor in there so we can go invade any system if you're using Norton antivirus. I wouldn't doubt that. Not making that claim. I'm just saying that I certainly would. Hello, Pats fan. Sorry, Levendi, Mike Smith, Mike Nichols, Jamie, Sharp Eagle. Okay, so back to the little story here. So I'm just weaving this little story of complexity because this is a company that says we want to make money in every kind of way possible. So one of the doubts I have in my mind, given the corruption in this company, is which I haven't talked to you about yet, is if LifeLock is triggered by hacking, all these companies pay LifeLock when somebody gets hacked. So it's actually to the benefit of LifeLock for everyone to get hacked. Every time some hacking thing happens, LifeLock makes millions and millions and millions. So it's to their advantage for hacking to continue. It's a very strange system here. There's actually nothing that says we are here to prevent hacks, because they're not really offering insurance. They're offering a fake promise that somehow they will protect your identity. How does LifeLock protect your identity? I have no idea. When your internet data is out there, there's no way to get it back. There's no way to get it back. The only way to protect your data is to protect it before it gets out on the internet. Once it's out there, and you will just get doxxed and whatever. There's no advantage to LifeLock whatsoever after the fact. Once a hack occurs, what is LifeLock going to do? We prevent identity theft. Suck. You can't call your Zucking credit card company and change your Zucking credit cards. You can't change your Zucking passwords. What are they going to do? They can't do anything. The only thing they're supposed to do is call up your credit card companies for you. You can't do that. You can't do that. So you can actually solve this problem of LifeLock by calling up your credit card company, and I believe I have a video talking about that. How you can I linked somebody else's video is what I did, that talked about what you where you suspend an account so that you can't borrow anything new. Forget about it, Nancy Pants. Move on. It's a scam. It's another one of these corporate scams. That's what I'm talking about. It's corporate scam. Corporate scam. Now, let me tell you the real story about what happened with Symantec and how we got payback a little bit. Not much. A little bit of payback. But, it's being the narrative is being changed. You all think about political narratives and you actually don't understand the corporate narratives that keep changing daily, okay? Well, let me just tell you what happened. When Symantec bought Blue Coat Systems, one of the first things that Symantec did was grant Blue Coat Systems, their subsidiary, a certificate authority right. They became a certificate authority, or CA. So they became a sub-CA of Symantec. So Symantec and then sub-CA, trusted CA, Blue Coat Systems. Now, what do you think Blue Coat Systems does? Blue Coat Systems is in the business of faking HTTPS certificates. Blue Coat Systems is in the business of faking HTTPS certificates. And they were granted the ability to be their own CA, which meant they could issue their own ducking certificates on any company, including Google.com, Facebook.com, anything that they want to surveil. All they can do is put a certificate on that, put it on their network, and when you come into any of those networks, they'll put a proxy server on there, and they can see everything you're zucking doing. Craziness. Crazy stuff. Okay? So basically, Symantec decided to get into the dark side. Symantec said, yep, we've been selling antivirus and all this, protecting computers. Let's get into the dark side now and say, hey, let's be in the spy business. Let's be in the spy business now. We're going to spy on people, for corporations, and for governments. And, it'll be good for the bottom line, because the only issue that the investors want is the bottom line for this Fortune 500 company called Symantec. That's all they care about. I got reminded of Symantec because I was at a restaurant, and when I left, when I was waiting for seating at the restaurant, a whole party of people walked out and they were wearing Symantec shirts. So they were Symantec employees, and I was like, I got reminded, and then I said, what an evil company. And then I don't even know if they work for LifeLock or what part of Symantec they work for. They could be working for LifeLock for all I know, or Blue Coat Systems or whatever part of Symantec. In any case, the problem now is we have an entity. This is the problem with the way the Symantec was structured. They had VeriSign SSL. They were the biggest provider of certificates in the zucking world. In fact, 70% or more of certificates a few years back of SSL certificates in the world were issued by Symantec or its subsidiaries. 70% of us trust Symantec. That's supposed to be the most trusted entity in charge of all of our zucking certificates is Symantec. Then on top of that, they said, well, we also sell you the antivirus. I told you about problems with an antivirus. Antivirus has very interesting access to your kernel level access to your computer. I don't trust Norton antivirus. I don't trust what that thing can do. Do not install Norton antivirus. Do not install that. Next, they have LifeLock, which is the scam. Then they have Blue Coat Systems, which just closes it up and says, we issue the certificates, but we'll spy on you with the same certificates. And then we'll fake you out and say, trust us. Watch the video on antivirus, Nancy Pants. Please watch the videos that I make on these topics. There's a video on antivirus on YouTube. Please go to my YouTube channel and watch that video on antivirus. It's a very popular video. So now we have a company that's in charge of stealing your data, faking you out, making you think that you have something important, perhaps a backdoor to your antivirus, and it's the one selling your certificates that you're supposed to zucking trust. And this is the corporate trust. And by the way, during this process, they were changing CEOs like crazy. The CEO of Blue Coat Systems at one point became the CEO of Symantec, the whole Symantec itself. It's kind of a crazy company. They change CEOs every year. Now all of their relatives, their executives left again, and then now they're back in here. So in case you didn't know what happened, Symantec was part of Symantec was purchased by Broadcom. So this just happened. Symantec got they were trying to buy the whole company, and they've been purchased by Broadcom for $10.5 billion or something. And so I presume that would include Blue Coat Systems. What would that else would include? It includes all of the probably the enterprise security portions of Norton. And the certificate business is gone. They sold, remember I told you they purchased that from VeriSign many years back. I believe it's pretty far back now, so I can't remember when. So they when they purchased, was that 2007? I can't remember now. But when they purchased VeriSign, they paid $1.25 billion, and in theory that should be worth at least couple $3 billion by now after so many years. They basically sold the certificate business to DigiCert for, I can't remember the number, but $300 million, maybe. They basically had to give it away. Now, what happened actually? Why did Symantec have to give away the certificate business? Because yes, that's exactly what happened. So Google put this is what Google did. Google put software, which I do also on Brax.me. They put software in each browser that detects the certificate hash and will determine if the certificate is not the official one that's currently issued with the current version of Chrome. So they can spot if the certificate is bad. They put that in the code and they get warning signs and reported to Google that there were fake certificates, and then they found out who issued the fake certificates. They were all issued by Symantec, which I already told you. This is not a secret. I've already known this. This is something that people in cybersecurity have been worried about, that they were doing this, and Google finally, I guess they said, let's find some proof, and they did it by inserting code in Chrome. Chrome detected the misuse of certificates, and they caught Symantec red-handed. So they actually went back to Symantec and said, we will remove trust in you in Chrome, which means no one using Chrome will be able to use a certificate from Symantec. They gave them the date of October 2018 to get out of the business. So last year, before October 2018, they sold the business, the name Symantec SSL. That was sold to DigiCert. You still find Symantec SSL, but it's now owned by DigiCert. It's not owned by Symantec anymore. So a lot of names that say Symantec on it are not Symantec anymore. The certificate business is gone. They lost billions from that, many billions, I'm sure. Now they're half a company. Half the company is being sold to Broadcom. So I presume Broadcom will get the enterprise security and the Blue Coat Systems portion. I think Symantec will retain the personal antivirus and the LifeLock, I think, and some other divisions related to that. So suddenly the company has weakened quite a bit. It can't do the kind of distortion of the environment of the digital world as they've done in the past. They have so much control over everything, and now we got payback. Their evil was spotted. They were spotted doing evil, and there you go. And here's the funny part, guys, and this is what upsets me about the corporate world and the stock market. The stock market has a lot of greed too. Because if you look at the Zucking stock market, no one talks about what I'm talking about with Symantec, a Fortune 500 company. Nobody talks about this evil. If you knew about this evil, you'd sell your stock because this company is going to get caught red-handed. I can't tell you how many times I found little references to bad certificates from Blue Coat Systems, and they have Zucking disappeared from the internet. They Zucking disappear. Okay, I seem to have lost. Is YouTube still here? I seem to have lost connection here. Okay, are we? Is YouTube still here? Okay, Periscope went down. Periscope was shut down. I wouldn't be surprised if this was intentional. Periscope was shut down. Periscope was shut down. I wonder if there's something else going on here. Oh, here, it's back. It said the broadcast was not available anymore. Okay, so kind of got me worried that, I'm being attacked here. That's a problem with attacking some corporate entities. I'm going to be a Zucking target. By the way, Broadcom bought another company, which is another potentially evil company, and the company is called CA. Okay, so that's now part of Blue Coat Systems. It really worries me. That's part of the corporate infrastructure there. Corporate infrastructure is typically made up of CA software, Salesforce.com, that kind of thing, Oracle, and now we find that CA and Blue Coat Systems will be in the same company, Broadcom. Now Broadcom makes our chips, so that that itself is worrisome. What can Broadcom do in the future? Yes, that was the old Computer Associates Eagle Swords, but they don't use that name anymore. Haven't used that name in decades. Hello, Freddy's Fart Fingers. So this is the problem, guys. In the corporate world, they hide all this. So let me just, what I was talking about before I got interrupted was what actually happens in the stock market. Knowing what I know about Facebook, knowing what I know about the evil that Facebook does, knowing what I know about what the evil that Google does, the evil that Symantec does, and Symantec is a very clear case. They were actually, playing around with certificates, and the way it's controlled in the press. You should see when they got rid of their certificate business. It was the narrative on the press was, "Hey, Symantec was fortunate to have sold their certificate business to DigiCert for $300 million or whatever it was. This is great news. Let's get the stock up in price." The reality is they lost billions from that, and they faked it. They faked it. Yes, I know about the PeopleSoft thing. They faked it. They made it sound. They twist the narrative so it sounds positive. And the victims of this, by the way, are each and every one of us. If you use Norton antivirus, use any you go to a corporate world and you get spied on. We are the victims, and we don't really know about this. Evil was done to our certificates. Complete evil to sell certificates. Anyone making certificates. Let's say the Chinese government says, "I want you to sell me certificates to Google.com so I can spy on my citizens when they're looking at Google.com." If I bet you Symantec said, "For enough money, we'll do anything for you." Sure. How many millions are you going to pay for this certificate? Yeah, we'll be willing to give you that. Just give us billions and millions, and we're going to give you certificates. This is the kind of corporate greed that just says we don't really care about morality or anything. That's not important here. This is true of many companies. I'm going to start just thinking about some of these companies and let you think about it. Okay, let's talk about Google. Can't go without mentioning Google here. Google itself, do you realize that Google itself was founded with funding from the three-letter agencies? Google was funded, the first Google back, before 2000. The idea of a search engine, the three-letter agency said, "Wow, we need to invest in this kind of company." Imagine the ease we can use this to track people if there was a search engine like this. So they did. And so Google was initially funded by, I would Lumino, Zuck, election protection software, Zuck. So Google itself, just to again to give you some history here, hired this guy who was doing Google Maps. I forget his name now. Forget his name, but he was doing Google Maps. He's the one who put in Google Maps and then integrated the Wi-Fi triangulation thing into Google Maps and tracking Wi-Fi routers. That was done by this guy who started Pokemon Go. So Pokemon Go is an example of this. Like, let's sell you some game that you think very lightly of, but it's actually used to see the interior of your house, because that's what the augmented virtual reality is. It's like you're actually looking at real space, and then you're recording that real space, and then you are able then to keep a database of everyone's home on the inside. And if you don't understand the technology, I'm going to just tell you right now, there's new technology now for object recognition, not just facial recognition. There's technology for object recognition, and it's actually, I was going to implement it myself in my security system to recognize if it's a car or a person, so to put it into the algorithm to say, okay, it's a car versus a person. Well, they have the algorithms now that you can just use from Amazon that can identify specific objects. Like, do I see a Coke bottle or Coke can? Do I see certain products? They have the technology just from looking at the interior to see what city you're in or what state. They can recognize that by certain AI things about how people decorate their homes in various parts of the country. So this is the kind of stuff that goes on. And let's talk about continue to talk about Google for a moment. Jigsaw. So Jigsaw is another one of these corporate things that you don't think about. Jigsaw, it's intended for government use. And it's intended for spying on each and every one of us and what we do on the sucking internet. And it's based on what you do on Google. So if you go on your search engines and you search for something on Google and you go to YouTube and you do all this, all that data is being used for data mining and profiling you, so they can come up with ways to influence you and to affect you. And that's being done by Jigsaw. And another company that's doing the same thing is Peter Thiel's Palantir. This video is going to be full of really evil stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if I get if my broadcast is stopped and I get threats and whatever. It's going to happen in this video, but I'm just so sick and tired of this that I have to say it in this video. So this video, it will be subject to all of this. Many of the typical companies you think are just ordinary companies selling your products are very tied into three-letter agencies and the intelligence agencies. Think Amazon. So Amazon puts out these Alexa Echoes, and I'm going to tell you something. If I were a three-letter agency, I'm going to say, wow, who would have thought that we would be willingly be putting in Amazon Alexa Echoes in all these homes, and now Ring. We're gonna put Ring on our homes, so to increase the spying by the corporate world. In this case, Amazon, where they collect this data in massive databases, just like Facebook. And Facebook was gonna do Facebook Portal to capture a video while the camera's rotating around in your house to spy on you with even directional video. This is the kind of craziness that we take for granted, but you have to understand who is providing the tools and who are they connected to. So in case you didn't know, a lot of these big companies, including Facebook itself and Yahoo and all this, were deeply connected with deep state, not deep state, three-letter agencies, in collecting this data with various programs like Prism and so on, and they were directly feeding the information direct to the database. And we react like it's no big deal. I've nothing to hide, so let them collect everything. It's like, we're a bunch of sheep. So now they can listen into our conversations, and we're like, what world are we building here? Where we're actually building a infrastructure where the corporate world tied into the government can now say, we can find out every thought. If there's any dissident thought in this country, we're gonna know, and we're gonna go stamp it out. Oops, sorry. Hold on. Yeah, streaming. Yeah, it was. There was a problem. Yeah, Kelp is okay with that. Yes. So when you expose some of this, and you have to have a lot of mistrust. I don't know if you know this, but one of the big companies just bought Tunnel Bear, the VPN. I'm trying to remember. Was it who bought Tunnel Bear? Was it McAfee? McAfee used to be Intel. Then they separated from Intel. So McAfee was an Intel company for a little while. And now they're separate. And they bought Tunnel Bear. Just be careful, guys, when you give control to, a big company, you give control of your antivirus and your VPN to these big entities, and you don't know what the zuck they can do. Okay? You don't know what the zuck they can do. Don't trust those guys. Go with a smaller player like me, where they don't know what the zuck is going on. Yes, so Tunnel Bear is now, corporate owned. I don't know what else is out there. I mean, it's just, I have so much mistrust for all of this. I told you in the video, I gave an example in the video. The video discussion was about Avast. Now, many of you use a Mac and you have Avast, because Avast offers a antivirus for free. Okay? So Avast offers you a free antivirus, and as you watch in my video on the video I just released on Man in the Middle, Avast actually installs a fake certificate on your computer, so they, in theory, can then capture anything they wish, maybe by keyword even, and send data on HTTPS back to Avast. They could do this. Do you trust Google Photos? Eagle Swords? Do any of you trust Google Photos? They've clearly said they do facial recognition on Google Photos. And it's a search sucking engine with reverse image lookup. Just like trusting Facebook. We already know what Facebook does. I'm not going to go into a repeat of all the evil that Facebook does. But, we will talk about Facebook. Just to show you this, that we just sit here and take it. We just take it, okay? They abuse us and we take it. One of the things that Facebook did that just shows you the kind of evil that just lurks in their mind. It's like they know that if you, as a normal app, when you say, I am not going to give this app permission to access location, then the app does not get location. Right? Because you asked for it, and Android and iOS said, yes, we, Android, Apple, and Google, will keep your location, but we won't share it to the third parties if you ask it not to be shared. So, in theory, if you turn location off, only Apple and Google know your location. That's right, Peter Leo. Exactly. This is why it's so upsetting to me. Okay, so this is, in theory, what's going to happen. If you say location off, Google and Apple know your location, but that's it, in theory. Assuming you trust Google and Apple, which requires a lot to trust. Okay? I don't trust them. I know that they're taking my location. But at least, in theory, I'm not going to be sharing the location if I turn it off because they want me to be happy that I'm not sharing my location. Okay. Well, Facebook said, well, we want to get around that. I mean, just think of the evil. They know that you did not give permission for location. So Facebook said, we need to get around that. We want to find the location. We don't care that you took away the permission for location. We're going to track your location anyway. So what happened, for those of you on Zucking Zuckbook app, I'm talking about the app here, Facebook decided, because they're big, they decided to duplicate the entire configuration for Wi-Fi triangulation. Wi-Fi triangulation is normally being done by Google and Apple only. But Facebook is so big, they decided they're going to do their own Wi-Fi triangulation. So it's stated in their terms of use data policy that they are in fact scouring the network for the MAC addresses of the routers around you, and that in itself is the indicator that they are using Wi-Fi triangulation. That is the tool used. Tracking the MAC addresses of routers is the tool used to track your location, because you can relate a router to an exact position. You can go to Google and get that location exactly. So from your Apple device, they can take that information, run it through Google, and they will get the exact location of the Wi-Fi router, which is where you are. But you didn't give permission for that, but they evaded it. I mean, that is complete evil. When you specifically state that you do not want to give rights to the location, and they still take it. I mean, it's totally like, what are you up to, Zuck? What kind of evil are you up to? Now, here's the worst part. If you read the data policy, there's so much of this going on. It just boggles the mind, and we just let it go. So another thing that they put on their data policy, and they can't lie in the data policy because they're going to get sued. So they put everything in there. So if you know what you're looking at, you'll see, what the Zuck are you Zucking doing? So Zuck is tracking the MAC addresses of every device near you on the network. This is a very specific technique that, we in the, cybersecurity and networking world understand. It's called ARP. So they're using ARP in the app to spot the MAC addresses of all devices near you. What is, hello, Lavelle, Logan, what is the purpose of taking in a MAC address? A MAC address doesn't go through the internet. But a MAC address identifies your device. It's like a Zucking serial number. Can you imagine the value of that, knowing who was near you at the time? Do you know that is a sign of proximity, just to know the MAC address? And if Facebook is so large, they can spot that MAC address in any location. You could be anywhere else and say, I've seen this MAC address before. It's connected to somebody who knows Rob, because I saw the MAC addresses together. To be honest, the ones using Bytes VPN aren't 100% secure. Well, I don't know what that means, Freddie, but obviously nothing is 100%. But it's enough for confusing the algorithm. As I made it clear before, if you're evading a 3-letter agency, then there are limitations. If you're thinking secure means evading 3-letter agencies, there's things they can do. So, is that how they somehow find people I know and suggest them as friends? MadCal, they're also using proximity of locations. Since they know that they can take your locations and say, oh, these two people are the same Wi-Fi router, they must be in the same area. So, I mean, it's like when the internet first started, the idea was, hey, we're gonna all be free. We can speak freely and have our words reach people without having to worry about being big. We don't have to be CBS, NBC, ABC. We can go out there and we can achieve fame and be like Kardashians without doing anything special. And it will happen automatically. And it doesn't work like that. Because the corporate world says, nope, we're not going to grant anyone such power. We're going to go into it. Now, even the most popular people on YouTube aren't being popular for themselves. They're being popular for YouTube. YouTube is making money over PewDiePie and who's the person that somebody said last night? Was it Cardi B? Yes, Tinkerballs. Yes, not a problem. Cardi B. I asked a bunch of kids today.